Welcome to the Lockdown Economy, a social nonprofit initiative by the think tank AlterContacts to help small businesses and self-employed professionals overcome the challenges of the pandemic and reactivate the economy. My name is Julia Meissner, and my guest today is Cecilia Chiolerio. She's the co-founder and CEO of the platform Twostay, which is offering sustainable co-working spaces in Germany and Austria. Welcome, Cecilia. I'm happy to have you. How are you feeling?
Thank you so much. Really happy to be here and enjoying the conversation.
Great. Well, then let's get us started. Tell us a little bit more, please, about your business and what services exactly do you offer?
Yeah. Okay, so for the users, we are a normal co-working space. So basically what we offer is locations that are good and functional to come to your space and work with your laptop and enjoy the time with other people, so belonging to a community. And that's mainly appealing to freelancers, self-employed people, but with the pandemic also remote workers or people that are employed and they cannot stay in home office all day. The magic of Twostay, it's a bit what happens behind the curtains, because we take locations that are usually empty or underused during the day. So for example, now I'm sitting in one of our locations that's a restaurant, but we also use bars or empty floors or retail stores that are not there anymore for a while and so on. And we just help people that want to grow their own co-working community and found their own co-working spaces in the process of setting up one and managing it one. So that's a bit the business. It's kind of a franchise concept where we are the partners guiding you through all the way. But yeah, for the users, it's just a more affordable options and more flexible option of sharing a workspace.
Great. And with how many locations are you collaborating?
So that's where we can go directly into the pandemic topic. So before Corona, we used to have 10 spaces in Munich in general, and then we had to close. Then after, like when Corona gave us a sort of a break in summertime, we reopened some cities. And now we have 5 spaces open overall. Like the idea is to roll out to many more. So we still have partner locations that still collaborating with us, but for some reasons always connected to Corona, it's hard for us to open. For example, if the space is too small, if the regulations are too tight in different cities and so on. So I think overall now we have 9 open, but hopefully, yeah, let's see how many we can open in the few weeks coming.
Yes, interesting. Well, you mentioned there already a key challenge, of course, that you faced. In general, maybe how big is actually the team behind of your company? Is it, how many employers do you have?
So we are 2 co-founders, and then we have 4 employees. And then there's our extended team. So that's all the people that are opening their own co-working spaces and they're managing it. So for us, it's part of the team as much as our employee, in a way that we have contact every day with them and they are part of our operations. So that's also part of our team.
Great. Okay. And as you mentioned, unfortunately, you had to close down some locations. Was there any other key challenges that you had to face when it then came to the pandemic?
So like when first Corona hit, the main challenge was to understand the magnitude of this, like how big it's gonna be, how long it needs to be. And I always say that I think in a way we were a bit naive, not expecting this to be so long. And that's also what made us going further and not giving up, because we always thought, okay, it's just like few months. And always in the pandemic, our strategy was a bit like focus on let's really save oxygen because we will be able soon to reopen and so on. So when Corona happened, the first challenge that we had was, are we allowed to operate or not? Because we're operating in these double user spaces. So from one side we have a workspace regulations, and from the other side we have the restaurants or the like gastro regulations. And so for us was at the beginning, okay, are we allowed or not? And that was the first challenge, to understand or balance between regulations that for us was not like applying, and then also making sure that our users were safe and that we were like putting their health and safety at the first spot. So we decided to close anyway, even if the regulations kind of were not explaining it. And then we took the time to basically go city by city to understand if our concept would be allowed or not, and which hygiene concept we should apply, right? So we asked for help also for the city administrations and so on. So that's when we could start opening up. And then when the spaces were open up again, the second challenge that came is like a huge amount of added process that before we didn't have. So we have to make sure, like super small example, the mask used and the Schnell test, or the door needs to be locked, the disinfectants, all recording every user. This is process that we were not having before. And as I said in the description, we don't run the spaces on our own, but other people that are there and they run their own spaces. So for us was like really important to have a quality check on the job that they were doing, and on the other hand supporting them, because that like from one day to another you have a lot of new tasks that before were not part of your job description at all. So I think that's the main challenge, and that still is like really like a lot of new added costs and added operations. And then like the last spot is definitely everything is too volatile. Before we were having a good base of customer, we were expecting where were they coming back, and now it's really like there are some days or some weeks where like it's super low, some days where really a high frequency in our spaces, and it's not really easy to explain, while before was like we could like draw connecting dots, and here it's just like becoming way more complicated.
Yeah, I can imagine. And especially then during those times where you, of course, got more knowledge about the whole pandemic situation, was there also different strategies maybe that you then created when it came to stimulating your business? Because I mean, you said not so many people were coming then again. Did you came up maybe with new strategies regarding this?
So the thing we did during the moments where we were in a really low moment, we saw few locations were open or we were totally closed, we focused a lot on building pipelines. So we put all our effort on sales and moved everything there. And this really worked because the restaurant owners or the gastro people owning spaces, they were suddenly way more reachable, way more available, and also way more like interested in doing something to keep their business going. So that for us was really good and created quite a good momentum from the sales part. So that's kind of like strategy wise where we shifted a lot. When it comes to marketing or like customer acquisition, we had also to change a lot of things, mainly because, I don't know, once you have running a business like this, it's really about community. Like what we do, it's like the most important fact for us is our people, is our customer, that they are happy, there's good experience and they're safe. So also this is always like a kind of a struggle to go out and advertising to come co-working when the overall economy and state tells you, hey, stay home, because that's the safest thing to do, right? So for us was really also finding a good way of communicating with our customers. Hey, we're still there. You can come, because probably home office is also something really bad for you at a certain point. If, for example, you have kids, if you have no home office solutions, if you are just alone all day in your apartment, you need support. So it comes out to also other benefits that we're offering that before were part of our services, but we were advertising a bit less. So now it's really like changing the way we communicate with user and try to be appealing to a super specific niche or up to how you want to see it of people, because there are a lot of people unfortunately that have home office to do home office and they just can't afford it to stay all time at home. That's not how it works. It should be like this. And also we got, as I mentioned before, a new type of customer. Before we were not working with employee. It was really hard for employee to get out of the office and come here because they were not allowed to do a home office and so on. And now everyone is allowed to do it, and you can do it. You can go to co-working, it's just, or work from home. So this was really interesting to see, like how much the perception of company environment change from day to another and on allowing this new way of working.
Yes, that's great to hear that those the pandemic basically also gave you this opportunity now with your business. Maybe shortly coming back to the concept of your business, I was wondering, you were saying that you are not on your at your locations yourself, you are not hosting them. So who exactly is then there in all those locations taking care of it?
Yeah, so we have what we call community host, and this is a person that wants to grow their own co-working community and their own co-working space. And they go out and search for locations that could be suitable for them, as exactly as you would start a normal business on your own, and we support in all the ways. So we will go on the selection part of the host, training them, making them understanding what it means growing a co-working space, looking with them with the location, and then set up the locations for co-working together. Sometimes this community host is also the location owner. So we have cases where the restaurant owners or the staff wants to develop a day business, so like a co-working by day, and then would be the community host would be the same as the owner or someone from the staff. So during the day, the main responsible person is this community host, and then we have a system in which the operations of every day is taken care by the community itself. So we have kind of like an ambassador program, where if you want to be part of the core team and help out with the check-in of the users, just keeping an eye, everything is good, then you can work in our spaces for free.
Wow, great. I think especially in those times, it's so valuable to create more communities and build those connections. Well, you told us a lot about what happened basically during the time of the pandemic. Tell us, what is happening right now with your business, and what are your plans for the next 2 to 3 months?
Yeah. So we are again really optimistic. No, like we were really having good months where people were starting coming back and so on. These 2 weeks were a bit lower than normal. Again, as I said, super volatile, mainly probably connected to vacations, numbers, who knows. But we really see a lot of like willingness to go back, to go out, to connect with people, to change environment and so on. And this is something that you can breed in each locations that you work from our network, but I guess also from our competitors and so on. We want to expand in the next month. So we have a lot of locations that are in our pipeline that we've been able to assign during these times, and we want to roll them out. So the idea is that we will focus a lot on Munich, because we want to open at least 2 or 3 more locations, also to host more of a different kind of, our locations are maybe a little bit smaller in Munich. So we're looking for a bigger space, more business looking as well, where we can better fit also B2B like customers that company wise. And then we have a lot of other cities that we signed with a super nice locations. So we're really looking forward to open new locations and get the things back to normal, I would say.
Yes, well, that sounds like great plans, especially then looking at your expansion project for the future. Can you think of any like 2 to 3 things maybe you need some help with to achieve it?
Yeah, so I mean, definitely spread the voice about this concept, and also for the people that would need it. So we need a lot of word of mouth, and we need to reach our people, right? They are probably in home office and struggling, and we offering a good opportunity for them to go out. So I think that would be the main focus for us at the moment. We're always looking for people that want to open their own co-working spaces. So this is also super easy. And if you know anybody, I think that would be great. What happened lately is that we, as I said, all these processes, there are super small things, super tiny details. And I would love to hear how other people are solving these things, right? Or like how, because I'm pretty sure that these things are things that every business has to take care, or if you have an office, you have to take care. I don't know. For many, we didn't come up with smart solution, I would say. So if there's anything that's also for disinfectant, for tracking people in the space, how they behave, to grant a bit more a good hygiene concept, I would be really looking forward to see and to check out any other solutions rather than the ones we are using.
Well, I'm positive that hopefully someone who's watching right now can help you with this.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for sharing, of course, your insight and opinions about your business, Cecilia. It's a very great, interesting concept that you came up with, I think. Yeah, I will make sure, of course, to lead all your links and websites in the description below so the people can reach you, especially when it comes to the things you just mentioned and they can help you with. Yes, so I invite you therefore, dear viewers, to have a look at the description and get in contact with Cecilia. Maybe as some last advice from your side, Cecilia, is there anything you could give the audience as as an advice who are maybe struggling with similar things as you?
Yeah. Yeah, so for us was really about keep it going. So we changed a lot of different things in the pandemic, and was like such a good, valuable moment to get new inspirations and to really sit down and reflect on the things that really mattered, also business wise, like going back to the basic and just offer these basic stuff and making sure that the basic stuff were working for and they were a value added for our customers. So I think that's just a general concept, like just keep it going, because I think it's really like a super cool moment, and a good opportunity are arising, things are changing, and that's the best moment to have a business, I think, because if you're fast enough to adapt, then it could be really interesting, the results afterwards. And maybe I'm too optimistic, but I think we are a bit at the end, or at least like going through something where it can be more normal.
Yeah, wonderful. Great advice. Thank you, Cecilia. I enjoyed very much the conversation we had.
Yeah.
I invite you, dear viewers, go like this video and subscribe to our channel. Every week we are uploading more videos, interviewing different businesses around the world. So there's probably something that you might be getting interested in too. Yes, so have a look, stay tuned, and we'll see each other in our next interview.